I want to laud all Kenyans and my brothers and sisters in the media, and also other leaders who put up their voice against the ostensible plan that was there to increase school fees, and especially for this secondary school, by way of cutting capitation. That plan was there. I am sure I have engaged even with many people from the media who have also gone ahead to check from the principals in our day secondary schools. They had already actually issued the fee structure, which was indicating the plan that was there for the government to increase school fees by 9,300 shillings. That plan was there. It had been already effected. But I want to thank all Kenyans for putting up their voice against the increment of the fee for day secondary schools, because at least now learners can breathe and parents can breathe. Unfortunately, the government responded, but they fell short of the truth. And for the first time, we saw the government really playing a lot of public relations with the release of capitation. I thought it is an obvious thing. It's like when we pay salaries to the civil servants, and then the government puts up an advert telling Kenyans they have paid salaries for civil servants. There are things that are obvious. One of the obvious things is to set capitation to our institutions of learning. And I want to only highlight this matter using only one category of our institutions, which is day secondary schools in terms of senior secondary schools. The government purports that the capitation is 22,244 shillings. That is what they claimed even on the circular they released. And I want to request the Ministry of Education. Sometimes you may lie even through word of mouth, but it's not very good to put a lie into writing, because it will still haunt you. And I'm raising this issue because I am very integrated or integral to the principles of day secondary schools in Kiharu, because there is the part we play as Kiharu CDF, and therefore I have information from the people who run these institutions. So this is my question to the ministry and to the government. The government released 26 billion for senior secondary schools last week. And this is after Kenyans brought up the issue, and the voices were too loud for the government to ignore, and they rescinded the decision of increasing the day secondary school fees. But unfortunately, out of the 26 billion they released, they should face Kenyans and clarify this 26 billion shillings is for which term. And this is a very consequential question. Even the principals are asking, because by the close of the academic year of 2025, the government had arrears of capitations for only senior secondary in day schools of 22.5 billion Kenya shillings. And therefore it means the government only released 3.5 billion shillings for the first term, which amounts to around 109 shillings per learner in our senior secondary schools. So I want to ask the ministry, you sent our principals 109 shillings to run for the first term. How are they going to run the schools? And if on the other side you say it is for the first term, are you then clarifying to Kenyans that capitation is actually 15,000 as it was sent last year? How much was released last year? It is 15 million, it is 15,000 per learner. So what is the capitation in Kenya? Is it what is written or what is disbursed? That is a very important issue that the ministry must clarify, and clarify not just in writing, but clarify by sending the money to our institutions so that they can run normally. The other last thing that I want to request, because it seems those who are in government don't seem like they think it's an important matter. And we are going to repeat this matter until it is done. We are allocating so much money in the budget for ostentatious expenditures. every year, renovating this office and the other. Yet, the government gave the JSS interns a promise to absorb them into permanent and pensionable terms once their tenure of volunteering is over. That period now is over, but the government is now purporting to corner the JSS interns again to renew their internships. These are people who've already given up their labor almost for free to our republic for 1 year. And the promise was that after 1 year, they are going to be absorbed. We cannot turn back on our promises. The confirmation of JSS interns must be immediate and must be priority for government, because these are 20,000 Kenyans, graduates, who are being paid just roughly around 17,000 shillings. Majority of them, because I talk to them and their officials, they are going through a very hard time. The government must, first of all, stop whatever they are doing with the money and confirm the JSS interns into permanent and pensionable terms. And if there is no money in the budget, it is very simple. There is a provision in our constitution, in our financial laws, called Article 223, where the government is given permission to spend money on which is urgently needed, and thereafter seek ratification by Parliament later. And therefore there is no excuse. If we can invoke Article 223 to renovate an office, why can't we invoke Article 223 to provide the budget that is needed for the confirmation of the JSS interns into permanent and pensionable terms? This must be priority. The 20,000 JSS interns this January must be confirmed into permanent and pensionable terms. Thank you very much.